Get the show on the road. Patrick, thank you for doing what you'd like. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Right, guys. So DXpeditions. Why and where? Why do we do it? And where would you do it? And when we want to do it? Okay. Everybody in this hobby has got a slightly different angle what they want to do. How many of different interests will be in this room? Probably dozen.
73.
About that, 73 figures. And one of those things is we've got one thing in common. We want to communicate. Some of us really use the microphone and the key very, very seldom. We fiddle with soldering iron and all that, instruments and so. So that's so many people, different aspects. Anybody, any fishermen in this room? Who fishes? 1, 2, 3. All right, it's fishing a game, isn't it? You never know when you get it. Some days you'll get it, some days you just get nothing. And then we... I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to tell you. That leads us to a thing which is called radio sport. When you really, any human endeavor, anything what we do, somebody will figure some way how to compete. We get competitive, all right? We sort of start compete, we'll invent rules or compete without rules and all that. So we'll be competitive. I'm not competitive myself, but I still do a lot of things for old fella which I enjoy, and they probably almost fall in that competitive type of field. Do I have to be, or do we have to be competitive, being in contest and or DXpedition? Not really. It's really fun to be in it and give out some numbers. The real serious guys, they do that 48, 24 hours. They don't sleep, they don't do anything, and they just really go for it, spend big money in setting their stations and try to win. Most of us, and I'd like to encourage everybody in this room, do that weekend warrior type of thing. Go there for a couple of hours and have fun. And really, the real contestants, they need us, the weekend warriors, because they need that extra numbers. You know, there may be 60, 100 of them who take it dead serious, but they will run out of numbers and time. So they need the weekend warriors. And also, if you get there, you can work extra country and all that. It's actually in a contest, it's very, very easy. There are, of course, different angles of radio support, fox hunting, radio orienteering, and all that. So, but that's not today. At the moment, I think the table says I've got 218 countries confirmed. There is the maximum right now is about 328, and I've started in about 2003 and 4 with the PN call sign. Before that, I just couldn't care less. I hated contests or all that thing. So that's apparently is true. That tells me, the program tells me that. I got my first license in '68, and I played radios about 2 years before then from the club station, and I still get really great kick if I get on a key or microphone and somebody on the other side of the world hears me, and they are happy to talk to me, and they give me a report, and they are happy to listen what I'm going to tell them. So I think it's still one of the best feeling of this particular hobby. We all communicate. Okay, DX pile-ups. When you really get onto some sort of bit rare DX entity, everybody wants to get onto them. And obviously that is pile-up. Everybody had experience with pile-up, I'm sure. Anyone in this room didn't get involved in a pile-up yet? You missed. It's really good. I mean, you can read this, or you may not. We may get to that later. There are a lot of issues to be able to do DX. Obviously, propagation, time of day, solar cycle, the antennas. You know, you've got a crappy antenna at home and somebody's got a many element beam, they do the work for you. You can have your dipole and you still get the contact because that guy's got a really whopper of an antenna. So there is no such thing as a small station. The power is fairly important, yet we'll see a little later. I had a guy there who was QRP, and you can hear his signal there, and he was all right. Also, there's the skill on the other side. I assume that each of us is highly skilled, but the other guy may be absolute dummy, so that's the problem. This is a pilot. This is CW. I'm transmitting on that 14015, the middle line there, and count the stations who are calling. I couldn't figure that out, but that was on the first or second day on 20 meters. I couldn't believe one thing there. You know, there was a DX expedition on the island about 7 or 8 months before us, and I thought they emptied the need. They just emptied everybody's need for the thing, and we were absolutely popular. I was flabbergasted. So that's the power. The propagation, we all know about grey line. Who doesn't know about grey line? Grey line is when you really, that's the line or border between day and night, and that's where things do propagate. That's quite alright. Anybody's using this program? Yeah, yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah, which one is it?
VOA prop. Yeah. Just find it, and it's got to actually download extra program, which actually is the engine of it. That's from Voice of America, I think, and that really calculates the propagation and the background of that. It works like a charm. That's how it is, and it's by Julian G4ILO. Fishing, you never know what you're going to get. Even if you use the bait lure to target exact species, you never know what you're going to get. Weather and all that, so it's the game of chance. Alright? Game of chance, that's DXing, contesting and all that. You never know what's going to happen. And that makes it very, very attractive because, you know, it's like playing chess or going fishing. In DXing, everybody who does it, obviously, they do collect QSL cards or the contacts somehow to confirm it. They collect countries, collecting prefixes, they collect wallpaper, and they just want to belong to the DXers, which is obviously the most elite group of it all. In contest, it's really buzz when you're running and you're having a good time and they're calling you, and all. It could be extremely, extremely frustrating. You call that guy and he takes another 10 stations before he gets to you. Awful, awful feeling, but that's the part of the game. DX expeditions. Obviously there are certain entities which do not have amateur there, or the guys inactive and all that. So they see there is one country in the world which actually can't have any amateurs, as we all know. That's North Korea, and that hasn't been on the air probably since early 50s. I don't think. That's the most wanted country in the world. This is Dick Hoffman. The good-looking one, I'm the ugly one next to him. He's the resident ham on the island, and he's not active. He actually gets into net once a week on 40 meters to talk his mates.
I've heard him with Tim Mills and someone else.
Yeah, he talks his mates there. There is another new one, Foundation License. He's the local doctor, but I didn't have a chance to meet him. He was too busy fixing people.
Yeah. Someone had some antenna hit him on the head.
Apparently, he's a nice guy. every amateur is a nice guy. We know that. Okay, this is 1910, the list of most wanted countries.
2010.
2010, did I say?
1910.
You see that North Korea, that's been the head island is pretty much on an island list, that's our territory, and there were 2 guys in last year there. And I don't know if somebody follows that, those 2 were absolutely busy. The guy called Trevor, he was on SSB, but the current guy, who obviously has got to work and he can get on sometimes he does work as a CW as well. But gee, they are busy. I worked them both, but it was hard yakka, I tell you, it was hard. So you can see, and they usually publish it to about 100, so I put the cut the bottom bit off. The really exclusive DX guys, have you heard of Scarborough Reef? I think there's one guy in a room who's got them, and I think it's Russell. Didn't tell me you worked them?
Not Scarborough.
Uh-huh.
Don't think it was Scarborough, no.
I thought
He works Scarborough Beach.
No.
one little rock, you can't even stand on it. They had to put a platform there and everything.
Wave!
Look, that is something special, all right? The boat. They had in shifts always 1 or 2 went on a rock and operated, and during the night there was only 1 guy, and apparently they were scared.
The next morning there was none.
Kind of alright, you know. I think they were obligated to wear yellow thingy jacket floating out of the bar. This guy, that Yemen expedition, they take about 3-4 weeks. Actually, middle of May they finished. They were there for 2 or 3 weeks. 300 curacos per hour, no sleep, no rest.
300. That's it. That's not one or.
No, there were dozens of them. This guy, I worked him, then I figured out that was his shift when I worked him. He was incredible. He was a big human machine.
It looks like he's asleep at the keyboard now.
But it's still going. Unreal. Okay? He can do it. He's good. Okay. I'm collecting curacao countries and curacao cards. I can send them via bureau, as we all do. Alright? VK bureaus or the other countries' bureaus. I can send them direct. Alright, if I really want to make sure, I'll put $2 in the envelope with my car return envelope, send it over. The guy for $2 he buys stamps, put it on, send it back to me. Works beautifully. Some guys do use the IRC, International Reply Coupons. They're a bit of a nuisance, but they are being used too. But the 2 green stamps is probably the best and cheapest way of doing it. I can use the EQSL. Anybody knows about that? Yes?
Yeah, I use it.
Practically everybody's using it. That's kind of alright, but doesn't give you any certificates.
Okay.
They have a print piece of paper, but means nothing. But you know, at least you got the contact. And I'm using Logbook of the World nowadays. Anybody's
Can
in
you
it?
get DXCC based on Logbook of the World?
Yes, I've got one. Yeah, it's good.
You can only use your electronic entries in that, can't you?
Yeah.
It's either
But you can send them actually your
electronic
QSL cards. If you have some station, not every station in the world is actually member.
Right.
So you can send them your bunch of cards,
And they'll
or they check it, or you find somebody in Australia who is the checker. They will confirm it, you send it over, and they add it to your tally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So
that's...
of those 218 that you've got, Patrick, how many of them are confirmed, or all of them?
They're all confirmed, those.
218 confirmed.
Yeah,
That's good, because it gets hard after you've got the first
Oh, bloody hell, it does.
to get the rest of them confirmed.
Yeah. Now they are actually, that lot is from the logbook of the world.
Okay.
So that was.
I think the only way to confirm them these days is the Logbook of the World, because nobody seems to send them in.
Oh yeah. No, you still can send your card direct, and there is a 80-90% chance that you get it back.
Might be in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's another story. Bureau takes about it more.
Yeah. I brought one up only a couple of months ago that took 11 years.
Oh, lucky.
Just got one
USA or something. No, it wasn't.
You are lucky. Okay, that's how it looks like the EQSL CC. When you log in and it costs you nothing, you can get in. It works easily. This is the logbook of the world. US hams can get in without any problem. We have to send them pieces of paper making sure that we are legit. So photocopy of your license, certificate and all that. I think they ask for some money, but it's not big. No money? I
I
forgot.
just want it physically posted.
Yeah. And they just put you in so you are kosher. And I'm still battling actually. I want to put the VK9PN on it and I just can't figure it out on that website. So I'll probably have to email them or ring them and ask them to do it for me because it's so complicated and I'm not as smart as I used to be.
I think you can just add another station.
And that's what I'm trying to do and it's sort of... Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to do and it tells me go away.
I think Ben's volunteering to do it for you, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
He's doing it from his iPhone.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to be member.
I think a lot of
To
the world you just have to be
EQSL. You have to apply for the logbook of the world, which I already said. That's my QSL card at the moment. All right. You may say it's narcissism, but no.
face on the front of your camera.
Yeah. Actually, people like it because they really see your face. They take more notice of you. All right. So I would encourage you to sort of put something there, your dog, yourself, or wife, and all that. So it makes it more personal.
From Japanese cars,
Right. It makes it more personal, and you know, you're sort of showing your mess in the shack there. It's all nice, good stuff. This is the card we are going to send around for the VK9PN and design it. It's being printed. Why DXpeditions again? I've almost until now been on the other end. I was trying to get in, work them, and it was sometimes very frustrating. Sometimes I just walked in and said, "Hey, I'm good," but it's all the chance game of luck. You know, we are all good, but you never know how good you are on a day. So I wanted to experience the other end, which was great fun. Where to go? It's good to be affordable, because going to Scarborough Reef, that was probably very, very expensive holiday, I'd say. Not far to travel for old fellas. They want to stay 48 hours on the planes. Easy to get there. Can be done solo, because look, if I'll ask you who wants to go with me on my next DX expeditions, hand up. Good. Well, I feel
Where are you going?
yeah. All right. That's better because I didn't expect as many hands as that. Thanks, fellas. Because not everybody can. They've got work, they've got wives, children, girlfriends, mistresses and all. They just can't get away.
If you're planning one to North Korea, I'll go.
Yeah.
You want to come back?
I don't think I would.
Patrick's going to go in pension.
Well, you might as well go straight to the top.
That would be good. But they won't, I don't know, they may let me in, but I'd say, oh.
He's got to take enough green stamps.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think the Australian government will pay my pension to North Korea. Okay, look, it's better in a group. We all had fun when we were farting around with radios at Jonathan's. That was real good fun. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's always done, it's better in a group. Now, it's good to be in demand, of course. It needs to be somehow on wanted list. Doesn't have to be very, very high, but somewhere on the wanted list. Now, we have to put up the antenna. It's very pointless to carrying the best radio you can get, but if you have not half a decent antenna, it's just wasted effort. So the antenna, as we all know, the antenna is the best amplifier. The antenna's got to be good. So you know, and you need certain comforts. Look, it's a hard yakka because we were two of us and 2 hours on, 2 hours off. You want to sleep, you want to rest. It's actually quite, I'm not like that Russian guy. Now, remember David, they visited Patrick Island, and that was actually, it's still pretty much in demand there. And that was good, except if you find out how to get there with less expensive airfare. That was very expensive. I can fly to Europe and back for that money to get a little bit past New Zealand. So that's what it. Okay, Lorde Howe. Norfolk Island is apparently a pretty good destination. It's in demand, and they fly big jets there, so you can take a fair bit of gear there. You're not limited that much. Vanuatu, Greg went to Vanuatu. Where's Greg? Not today. He went there and he had fun. Fiji, probably.
I've got a call sign in Tavalu.
We going?
I've got a
We
call
going? Are we going?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, that would be good.
Bruce will wire everything up, make the first call and stand back.
Go diving.
That's true.
There's no diving. No diving.
I wanted to go diving on the island, but I didn't have time. Next time. Selected Lorde Howe. That's the latitude, longitude, locator, and it's Iota Island on the air number 4, which is fairly in demand, and it's pretty. Now we landed all with this gear. We were limited to 14 kilos each. And the amplifier weighs 20, and the radios were 7 and a bit, 8 kilos. And I had only about 5 kilos of underwear in that case.
A lot of underwear.
So it was the travelling light.
6 bottles of wine.
I wasn't allowed to take any. The rest of the heavy gear I had to put on the boat there. So luckily they had that boat which goes once or twice a week from Port Macquarie Island Trader, and they put it on for us. That's the boat. It's actually old, nice, lovely rust bucket, that's for sure.
They weigh you when you get on the aircraft, I think, don't they? They weigh you when you get on the aircraft? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
You and your luggage, yeah.
I think I'll have to go by the boat.
honestly.
Look, I dropped it there. Chris is not today. He gave me that green suitcase, and I bought the blue one from Salvation Army for $20. And the red thing there for the mast and antennas, that was my old ski bag. Utilized everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Work.
How much was the freight?
$300. And actually it was bigger because I thought I'd be paying much more than that. You know, the guy, when I was trying to get estimate, he said, oh, and I was really, anytime he said that, I was getting paler and paler. But it was 300, that was all right, because I tried to negotiate air freight, and they were talking about thousands. Look at that. So when we arrived there, it was all there nicely stacked up. Beautiful. Great service for $300. That's the operating position. The amp is on a chair there. And we needed, I thought, I set it on the first day and then I'll go and get a bigger table, make it more comfortable, but we just were too bloody busy and we left it as is, and it was alright, it worked.
How many watts were you in?
Sorry?
How many watts was the amp?
Full legal limit.
That's a full legal limit actually. I've got a paper for 1 kilowatt, and we never ran that. And then we ran about 200, 300 on CW and about 500, 600 on SSB. So there was no need to, because everybody could hear us. Nobody did ask any, wrong. There were a few lids who asked for repeat. But
Were you running preamps or anything like that?
no, not on HF, man. That actually, the radio is very, very good, very sensitive. So, you know, he sent me out to put up antennas, and he got to the radio and started operating past it.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 antennas up any given time. So, you know, I think the first we put up was G5RV, and that was working like a charm. We had a signal like a nothing in the air. Look, when you get the crops and you sort of want to go for a
160
walk,
between.
yeah. I was thinking like, you know, I was looking for the PowerPoint in between them, and there was none. It is actually a beautiful place there.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a bonus.
What is the
Now that's the proud thing. So
That's where you hang the 5 kilos of onions.
that's right. That way was long path to Europe. That way was short path in the morning.
Yeah.
That way, which was a little gap between mountains, was North America, and that's all we used. Those 3 positions. And Japs, well, they were easy. They were next door bonus. On the left is the spider pole hanging of G5 RV and 160 meters L wire, which actually didn't work. We didn't make one contact 160 meters, so that was a dead loss.
Did you have any earth wire or anything like
Oh,
that?
yeah, there
One
was.
single counterpoise?
You kidding?
Well,
There were many on the ground, many. I had about
Did it tune up okay?
beautiful. But there was nobody listening for us, nobody. There was just didn't work. It was a
What was
big
the height of
disappointment.
the pole?
That is about 16 meters.
16.
16 meters, and the rest was about 12 meters was horizontal. So that was dead loss. Another walk. We didn't have always good weather, but it was, look, it's a great place. Then we did some PR, and everybody wanted photographs and send them over by the internet and all that, so we did some PR. We've seen this before, did we? Yeah, there was a guy, N4BAA, he emailed us about 3 times. Please give us a photograph of you where you say, hello, Joe, or Jose actually, and hello from... You just do that. He was actually so thrilled that we sent him the photo, it was unreal. Chris, VK3FY, he was a bit of a disappointment. He just came, collected the t-shirt, and I think he gave us only about 20 minutes of operating time, so I don't know whether we'll go again.
Right?
The island's got their own flag. Nice. I was trying to steal it, but I just couldn't find it. That's the apartments we were. That's the common hall, and that particular place had the internet. We didn't have internet in the room, so if I wanted something, I had to sort of interrupt the operation, take the laptop to there, and do some emailing. You know, again, as I said, it's a mixture of delight and frustration.
Who are you talking to?
I forgot, but that was absolutely, you know, I was ready to kill something.
It's interesting spelling.
Looked like they didn't get much sleep. There's no room on the bed.
Yeah. No, there was, it was all storage. Right, that was good. Oh. Typical sort of few ambience. There was building the spider beam, operating and all that. I don't know who took the photo actually.
It's a real DXpedition, isn't it? All you ever see is inside the motel room.
Don, we made a point. One is operating and the other one was either sleeping or kicked out. And just, you have to walk, you have to really re-oxygenate the brain because it's just... And you get tired, you really don't know what you're doing after a little while. And that's just the ambience again. We had cloudy days, and did we see that before? Not
Yeah.
Flag. That's the local hall, church, town hall, movie house, everything. Actually, what I loved about the thing, I've got a great memory in 1969 when we arrived to Australia as a very new Australians, and they put us to Bonegilla, near Albury. The place looked exactly like this, and I still have a soft spot in my heart for something like that. It's just delightful, absolutely gorgeous. That's the jetty where the boat comes in. See, the water actually looks much bluer than on this screen, so it's something wrong with the computer on the screen. Okay, look, where did you see that type of building? Typical Australian government. Don't get it that often anymore.
Yeah. You sure we didn't go to Norfolk Island? Those palms look familiar.
Well, they sort of brought them across.
Looks like Warringah.
I did.
Post office.
Long Beach Post Office.
That's the famous Ned's Beach where they feed the fish.
Yeah.
You walk in there and there is a little building, then you can, for 50 cents or something, you can get a big bundle of bread
Incredible,
to feed the fish.
They're incredible. They'll come in and almost take your hand off.
Yeah.
Right out of the water.
Yeah, they pull your hairs.
Yeah.
On,
No, there's kingfish. I mean, they're kingfish.
anything. That trevally, anything is big.
Kingfish.
Oh yeah, there will be a few biggies there will be kingy, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, what's the easiest way to find a DX station? You just sit and twirl knob. Right? You have to learn the pattern of propagation and all that, we all know that. Or visit DX cluster, as we all know. I'm using these, but I'm using about 3 or 4. I just I put this one. We talked about it when before we went. I did put a little how to file, how to spot as how to read the DX cluster. So that's how it is. You find what's on. And
Most
if
of them
it,
are linked across to one another, aren't they?
It's the same database.
say database that goes on a packet network, and these websites suck it out and display it for you.
It's got Ham Radio Deluxe and it's gone.
There's a logging, good old pen and paper. Anybody's using pen and paper beside the club?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still use
I still
it.
do.
No, I'm not objecting, but I find really just when you saw the operating position, there wasn't pen, there wasn't paper there. It's all done in this nuisance thing, and you know, not only that it's easier, I can read it after myself. On a piece of paper, I've got a backlist to read, and you know, if you're sending the log somewhere else, they want it in electronic form. Most of the contests or any destination, they say, if you don't have to send us paper, do it electronically. We really don't want paper, so
Sure.
that's just how things changed. There are logging programs, we all know. The Ham Radio Deluxe, I don't know whether it's the best, but it's pretty good. We've got it in the club there. I'm sure half of the people in the room is using it. Not as bad is the DX Lab suite, that's pretty alright. For the DX for Windows, which is good, you have to pay, but I don't think it's that good, so it's worth paying for. The Logger 32, it's good, but it's been around for maybe 20 years and it's already showing its age. And there are many others, so if you really want to find the logging program you like, just put logging program in Google and find one. There's plenty of them around. Now, for contesting, there are special logging programs. None of the general loggers would work to your satisfaction for contest. It's probably they have to be special logs for that. The most used is the N1MM. I'm not saying it's the best. It had a reputation, was very, very buggy. It was really, and I had the problems with it. Suddenly stops, or something goes wrong, or the mouse key just goes funny. It just goes funny. There are bugs in it. There is one very good one, SD by Paul. What's his name? AI5DIs. It's very good. It's actually, it looks like DOS screen. But he wants about 30 or 50 euros for it now. It used to be free. That's actually very, very good logger. There is that WinLog, it's alright. The WinLog 32 is supposed to be the best. I've got it on this somewhere. I found actually it's got a funny thing. So I can't adjust, say for CW, I can't adjust the speed easily and the and the weight easily. It's just a bastard, and after a little while it sort of does what it wants to do, not what I want it to do. With the N1MM, it's actually very, very easy. You just can speed up, speed down very easily, which is very important actually, by the way. So there are many other contests. Oh, there's one Russian. Yes?
So you're just using the call CQ, are you?
Yeah,
You're using just the call CQ, and then you...
It does actually now. You don't you do reach for the paddle, but most of the time you do it with the keyboard.
Well, just standard stuff.
exchange and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I'm quite happy one day for people who are interested really go through it, because actually it's so easy, and if you really try to do it with straight pump or paddle, it's just too hard, and nobody's doing it, so you really would be putting yourself into disadvantage. A lot of the guys, if they do SSB, they've got audio files in the thing and they send it to the microphone thing. They don't use their voice much at all.
CT used to be a very popular program, didn't
Yeah,
it?
CT is still used and it's popular, but the guy didn't update it for last, if not 10 years.
Right.
I like that. I used to like it the best.
It was the most popular, go back 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was the first one that actually varied the speed of the exchange. Like, you know,
yeah, which is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be touching it a little later that you can, you can, okay, that's the entry thing. You put a call sign in there and it tells you it's duplicate, alright, dupe. So you won't do it, you just don't waste time. There is a very good feature too. Yeah, if you've got the two options of 3 colors, red, blue and grey. If it's red, you're getting multiplier. If it's blue, it's another contact. And if it's grey, don't even go there type of thing. So it's got a clever thing, and this is the best feature, the band map. On the right, I don't have my... It is good. This band map tells you where you were already. This is your CQ frequency. You know, you work this guy, you work this guy, you work this guy. So you're not going to be looking there. When you twirl the knob, this little pointer goes up and down. So if you're really doing sedge and pounds,
that's neat, isn't it?
We'll get to that later. And they all have it actually, but actually on this one it's actually very cleverly implemented. So it's quite clever. So it's saves you a lot of time and headaches, frustrations. With the DX stations is operating, he's calling, and he typically sits on one frequency, and you call him initially on his frequency. When he gets busy, he says, okay, call up, so you go up. So you are operating split. Okay, and that's the initial. Then it's really very, very quick exchange. CQ VK2 Mike Bravo. I say VK2PN, you say VK2PN 59, thank you very much, 73. That's all what happens, alright? They want to work as many as possible, so sometimes you put the name there, but that's seldom. Okay, CQ, blah blah. You just say, you once call your call sign, whether it's in SSB or CW, only once. The leads, they repeat it again and again. I mean, that guy is, you assume he's a pretty good operator, so he should pick you up on one call. If he doesn't pick you up, he'll put a question mark there or something, so you know you have to repeat it. But that's stupid to call it more than once. So you get that VK2MB 599 or tardit, abbreviates the 9 for N. Alright, and operator and all that. That's very, very quick. Same thing happens on SSB, of course. Alright, you don't really, you call once, he calls once. Now you can use the international alphabet. I would typically start with VK2PN. If he can't copy it, then I call Victor Kilo 2 Papa November. He should be able to get it by then. He probably wouldn't spell his call sign. He say, you know, VK2PN 59, thank you, 73. That's what happened, no more than that. Okay, that's how it is if you try to spell it in international alphabet. I don't know whether my phonetics are the best, but I'll try to do it as best as I could.
It's a variation of leet speak.
Sorry? What it is?
It's a variation of leet speak.
That's true. And look, the reports are seldom given other than 5.9. Nobody bothers about
it's
real.
ludicrous to even do it in some ways.
Nobody bothers about the real thing. If I say 5.9 or 5.99, it is actually only a marker. All right. After this comes the stuff what you're really waiting for. It doesn't matter if you heard him or he heard you 5.558 or 5.9 plus 10. Who cares? You are acknowledged. That's it. You're in a log. That's the game all about. It's not boring. It goes so fast you don't have time to get bored. Split. When everybody calls on one frequency, then he says up 1. Now, who's got a radio which can't do split operation? I think all the modern rigs can do split. So we know what the split is. Just press split. You've got A and B VFOs. And the up, you transmit on the up one. So he is listening up, but still.
I was going to say, when you say up 1, how far up? About 10 kilohertz or something? Or
No, on a CW between 1 and 2.
On CW, sorry, yes.
And on SSB, that'll be on the next slide. On SSB, it'll be 3 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the point is, he wants you to spread. If everybody starts calling you 1 up or 3 up, we'll hit the mess a little bit later. It's pointless. So, and I was sitting there, knees on my ground, saying, guys, please spread up. I want to hear you between 3 and 5, and they all called 3 up. There was. Sorry?
I like to feel close to you.
Yeah. So you can pick the. Okay, we probably saw this thing before, but that's what it. I don't know. Is somebody doing that or happened?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you doing it? Thank you. Thank you. So that's the split operation. All right. That's the calling frequency, and that's when you're calling. So it's very wrong to call on that 1 up or 3 up or something. You really get a lot of mess there. It's pointless. SSB, of course, between 3 and 5 or whatever. Some guys actually request even more, some sort of funny numbers. Yeah, that's up to them. They're actually, the DX station is the boss of that, and you better do what he asks you to do, because if you don't, he's not going to work you, and if you insist, he'll work you, but won't put you in a log. He's got the right to do that.
Well, you might be getting interference, of course, on some frequencies, so you might specify one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He doesn't know where you pop, where the other stations will pop. You never know. Yeah, Jeff, if you ever try it, you never know.
Well, I've heard some guys specify an exact frequency.
Yeah, well, then it is really, everybody starts calling on that frequency, and
Back to where you started from.
that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, practice. Yeah, I already mentioned that. VFO1 and B, AB, and you listen. He listens on A. And now he transmits on B, he listens on A, and you do the opposite. All right. So we're quite clear on that. We don't have to. Now. There are radios and there are radios. Some of the radios got a dual VFOs, 1 and 2. That means if you have one of those, you listen on his frequency with your VFO 1 and you transmit with your VFO B somewhere. And you don't know whether he's listening. He's tuning up and down somewhere. So you keep calling, and when your lottery number comes in, he'll call you. So that's bit not very clever. With 2 receivers, if you have a radio with 2 receivers, you're listening with your receiver 1 or VFO 1 on his frequency, and you listen with the radio 2, receiver 2, who is calling him. And that's actually quite easy, because everybody goes quiet and you frantically twirl your knob up and down and that guy is calling him, then you press the button and call him, because you've got a fair chance that you're going to call into his pass bin. Alright? So that's the better way of doing things. There is one better technology than that, 2 receivers and pan adapter. You see whether, because once you're really listening with the receiver to somewhere, it's a bit of a delay before you find the guy. With the pan adapter, you know where the signal is.
That's a panoramatic adapter.
That's it. And that's the right spelling too. You know where it is. Actually, you don't even have to listen on that VFOB. You just put the radio they call, and actually on the island I loved that when they did that to me, because I didn't have to twirl and hunt around. If I had somebody really come right into my filter, I said thank you very much. So it was less hard work.
So how narrow do you normally set the passband when you're trying to filter out one of these passes?
Depends. When we all know when I'm really going to make it narrow, and I can go probably narrow as 5 and 10 hertz, no, 50 and 100 hertz, you got a bit of a ring there. Not much, but you do. So often enough I'll leave it 250, 200. Depends how many you get, really. So you're basically riding the knob all the time. It's unstoppable. Now, anybody knows what the QSK is, Operation QSK?
Break-in?
Yeah, break-in. It's mainly for CW. You listen between your dots and dashes and words, because you know that the guy is transmitting, so I better shut up. If he's signal somewhere when I'm transmitting, I'll hit the escape key to stop myself, because I'm not only, if he's transmitting and I'm transmitting, well, he can't hear me. And I'm QRMing somebody else, so the QSK is actually very, very important to have there. Vox, or better foot switch. With the Vox, you sneeze and cough and it goes off. With the foot switch, you just press it in. The foot switch has one disadvantage: you always hunt for it somewhere because it runs away while you're operating. I use chewing gum to glue it to the floor, but it still could kick it away. Now remember, it's a game. Nothing is guaranteed. It's still a game of chance, just like fishing. But if you have the right tackle, right radio, right antennas, everything, your chances are higher. I'll speed up everybody. Is actually. Anyway, you can imagine what comes out of that passband. It was just incredible. There's no way you can pick what was being transmitted.
Pretty sharp.
Didn't see any.
Danny eats bread.
What days will you get that?
Sharks usually. 23rd to 30th of May. The water was still 21 degrees, 22.
Same days as the guy I work with.
Actually, I don't know, this laptop is suffering from sick audio. It worked well before, wasn't it?
I'll give you $50 for it.
I think I'll take it. There was a thing I wanted to show you all. I picked up internet, YouTube. Guys recorded our transmissions, and actually it was very, very interesting. Anybody had a look at it?
Yeah, I had a look at it. It's good.
Yeah, that was very interesting. That we had a really good signal in Europe or anywhere there. Pretty strong.
And American as well.
Yeah, that he was actually, I remember I was at the keyboard when he was calling, and he stopped his call sign about 3 times. He was obviously nervous. I'm not holding it against him. That's a good sound.
Is Miro still in town?
No, he's gone 4 days after we returned. He wanted to go to see his wife again. I'm a bit disappointed here if that's not working. So, yeah, really, when you get that type of situation, you want to go forward. I'll go really quick. Alligator is a station who's got a big teeth and no ears. You've got a dingbat who transmit and never listen. And actually, that I put those definitions there before you really send the list of definitions there. It's common. I had to be alligator. Somebody sends very fast, but there's no way. If you come back to him with the same speed, he just goes to pieces. So it's another ego thing. If I'm the DX, I'll be operating much higher speed than the rest of the populations, because if I go back to them with their call sign, well, they can copy their call sign double the speed, and that's all they want. And I more or less expect that I'll be sending a little slower, so that I don't have to ask them to repeat their call sign twice or a few times. So that's fairly important. So the DX operates much faster than the rest of the crowd. When the logging programs, they've got the ability to vary the speed in one sentence. So I'll be calling very quickly CQ test, and then the machine slows down for the call sign, and then test very fast. So the important bit is the call sign, and the rubbish, the salad between and after, can be sent very quick. And this is actually, I was going to show you this was actually interesting. And I'm so disappointed this is not working. You're on, $10.
We got any techno dudes here that can fix it?
It's a hammer over there. When in doubt, give it a clout.
Look, I've got them separately, so we may have a look at them separately.
Put them on YouTube.
I'll embed them in this video.
QRZ VK9PN. Is there radio whiskey, please? Is there kilo to Sierra Kilo, please? QSL Kilo to Romeo Sierra Kilo 59. There is somebody from Sydney, please, VK9PN listening. They are embedded, and it worked before, I don't know what. This guy is an absolute speedster. He went on such a top speed, and sort of said, okay, well, I should have the big shoulders too, so I cranked up the speed. Do you think he can copy me? No way. So that was interesting, another learning process. Again, he was actually the guy, he did RITI. I think he's done about 100 RITI contacts. I wasn't very interested in it. I've done the SSB contacts, and that was 380 something, and I lost my voice. And luckily enough, the K3's got a recorder, so I recorded. But I still had to talk. I had to really do the call sign and all that. The CQ I had on the record. Okay, there is such a thing as a world rating, well, whatever it is, standings of the contestants and all that in the world. You don't have to do it. The program actually collects all the results and puts it up. So VK2PN is, actually I was 53. Early this year I was number 46. I forgot the area or all that, but I was 46 in around here, so I was thinking, but you know, you missed one context and whoosh, down you go. It's like, and now there is, you know, who's the VK6AA, who is real on top.
I think we might
Reno.
There we go.
He is amazing.
The master.
The master. He is the master. Actually, there is another guy who is really catching up to him, Steve VK3TDX, and he is he's a friend of mine.
Oh, we'll leave him alone then.
It's not a club.
He's a nice guy. He's a Yank.
He's a VK3.
All right, that's fine then. All right. And this is the mob which were there before us. Tommy, VK, yeah, they were VK9RHR. They were there before us about 8-9 months or so, and they've done 17,000 contacts. And they were there for 10 days, 10 blocks, 10 days, 170 QSOs per man per day. Two old farts, Mira and Patrick, need to 4,000 QSOs, 2 blocks, 7 days, blah blah, 285.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
So have you flicked that to Tommy yet?
I wouldn't dare actually.
Oh no, you should.
Oh no. Oh no, I do it in the closed circles.
Actually, I'll flick it to Tommy, that's it.
Right.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Alright, you're on. This is how you see the split CW. The guy on the left is the DX, and the guys on the right there, they are calling him. That's how it looks on the pano adapter.
Yes.
When you're operating SSB split. Again, the same thing in CW are picked where there are only a few traces there, so the DX stations in that green passband and the pink one, they are calling him, so that's what happens there. See what happens, transmitting stations, stations calling him, and he twirls the knob and listens from one on the other, so that's the principle of the split. Now there is a thing which is called club log, and most of the DX expeditions, they upload their logs there typically. We are there too, by the way, if you really want to check whether you worked us, and I know you did. You can put your call sign there and find out. So that was the Yemen thing, maybe, and I worked them 3 times, and I was so bloody proud I could work them because a lot of guys didn't. They tried hard, so something happened. He was on my side.
Did you get any guys abusing it because the call sign didn't appear sort of within 5 minutes?
Oh yes, yeah, no, where are you? We want club log. I said, and that was on that blog. I said, no, we can't because I can get there only once a day or so. No, not good enough. Anyway, they are sort of another statistics I'll skip. Yeah, funny thing what we did. The left is what was the total QSOs before and after the contest, and during the contest, and actually we were less productive during the contest than when we operated as a DX. And that's funny, and you know, when you think about it, because in the contest we weren't dealing with contesters only, there were a lot of leads or people who wanted to work us, and that slowed us a lot. If you have a contester, they just they're done, thank you very much, next please. But there were a few people who were really, so I thought it was very clever to go there for expedition plus the contest. I thought I'll kill 2 flies in 1 stone, whatever the saying is.
2 birds, 1 stone.
That's the one. And it wasn't the brightest idea
What would
to
you do next
that.
time?
Well, I'll probably do the same for the fun of it, but it wasn't. But the point is, if you want to place yourself, that was not the best strategy, of course. We went there to really make a hole in the world. It was just to have fun. It was pure fun. Experience the whole thing. So, yeah, it was interesting. By mode, see, we didn't do anything on 160 meters. None. And, you know, we broke a lot of things. Now, that 12 on 3.5 meters, that was when I looked at the old farts net in the morning. 3.5.
So you got who did you get horsed?
Everybody. Everybody.
So nothing on sideband on 18 or 21?
No, yeah. No, we did
On the lower side.
20 meters. That's what I did. Actually, it says 358 contacts, and I think one of the logs said 370 something, whatever it is. We did make only very, very few.
What about the contest? How many did you? How was the split on the contest? Did you do more on 80 then?
In a contest,
that was outside the contest.
There was outside the contest there, and
oh, I only did
that's
10,
the split. We did most on 20 meters and 18 meters, and in a contest, obviously you can't do the 12 and 18. You have to do the normal bands. So the cash car was 40 meters and 20 meters.
So on that 3.5, probably 8 of the 10 were club members.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Look, I tell you something, and one of those recordings, I stopped everything, and any VKZL on frequency, and any station from Sydney. I was really tried hard, fellas, and you snubbed me.
Not all of us, but
Not all.
No, not all, no. Yeah. I'll accept that. Now, when you do a contest, you send it to the headquarters and they score it. Alright, they've got a machines and they put it through. And there are 2 different ways how to send a log. Oh yes, when you score most contests, you have the multipliers and you've got QSOs. What are we doing for time? I better speed up. You have the number of QSOs and then you have a number of multipliers. And the multipliers is either number of entities, countries, prefixes and all that. That's determined by the contest rules. So the computer program actually does it for you and gives you the numbers. Alright, so that's what I already said. Now, that runs. Do we understand what is the run, and do we understand what is the search and pounds? In a contest, the run is when I'm calling CQ and listening for people calling me, and the search and pounds is the mode when I'm really tuning around and calling the running stations. When you search and pounds, that's where you're mainly looking for multipliers. They often come when you're running, but you want multipliers. You just have to run to make the numbers of contacts. And then you really try to do multipliers, the odd ones, because, you know, you work 1 multiplier or 2 multipliers and you double your score. That's the big thing. So multipliers are very important. Now, this is called the Cabrillo, or whatever you pronounce it, file, which you do send to the headquarters, to the committee of the contest, and that's how it looks like. Blah 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 blah. you've got this everything you have to tell them who you are and all that. So that's the cabriolet heading, and there is they use that to put it through the washing machine of the computer program and give you the score. And that's how it looks like before you send it in. Alright, and I have observed in the old days on a paper you used to sign it, the declaration. Nowadays if you send it there with your email on the other end, they trust you, hopefully. ADIF, that's open standard, and if you basically all the logs on your computers are stored in this format. It's the cabriolet. It's amateur data interchange format, another bloody acronym. And that's how it looks like. Again, it's a lot of letters. And that's everything there which actually the program can tell you and display. Now, Matt suggested we'll have a look about this. Now some of them I already mentioned. Run.
Yes.
I mentioned spotting on that cluster. I don't know what walk is, Matt.
So sometimes you get operators who don't know what they're supposed to say in the contest, and so you've got to walk them through the game. So.
Yeah, because they want to give you a number, they don't know what's the routine, so
exactly.
They give you their age or number and whatever, yeah, so you have to walk with them. Sprint, sprint is very American. Sprint is very American. They have a little contest they call sprints. Actually, we have it too. That, what's his name? The old fellow.
108 minutes.
106 minutes.
106 was it?
Yeah.
I went for 108.
Yeah, that's all right. It is a small contest.
Harry Angel?
Harry Angel, thank you. It's a sprint, and that's that. Cheerleading, I don't know what...
The trick with the sprint is you're only allowed to... if you call CQ and someone answers, after you make that contact, you have to do it.
But that's that. Americans have a different sprints too. The rules are different. But there are a lot of contests, a lot of sprints, a lot of different rules. And that makes it... Actually, there is one contest which is German or Russian. And you do QTC, you do the normal QSO and all that. And then they ask you QTC, which is message. And you give them several QTCs, which are the lines of the log there. And you get extra points for that. And that's a bastard, really. Because that's a complex... sequence of letters, numbers, and if you make a mistake, you get a minus. That's not nice.
Oh, we won't do that contest then.
That's fun. Try that. It's fun. And the bloody Ruskies, they're really running very, very fast. I don't like them. We talked about what's cheerleading.
So cheerleading is where you get your mates to put you on the spotting network, and so if you're on the contest, you know your mates will.
No, we did
you're assisted. No, you can do that.
It's okay for a DX, but in a contest.
No, in a contest you can as assisted. You can. That's category being assisted. You can do that.
Some contest.
Because we actually in the contest we had to enter assisted because I did ask you guys to spot us, even if nobody spotted us. We were spotted, so we were assisted, unfortunately. I don't know
whether I put you up, so you were assisted. I might have been the only one.
Alligator, we had Lid. We know who Lid is. Who doesn't know who Lid is? Lid is... how could I define a lid? Ning nong? Idiot, fool, poor operator. Look guys, don't laugh. We all wear lids once or twice in our lives. True? Admit it. I was many times.
So, where did the term lid come from?
Have no idea. Have no idea.
You read in old QST magazines, back in the 30s they talk about lids. So
yeah. Look, it obviously came from Uncle Ted's era, really. I have no idea. Up, yeah, that's calling up. Busted. Busted is when you send the login and you put wrong entry there. So your contact, you don't get points. The contact don't match, you're busted. Your QSO is busted, alright? You got busted, you're out. Dupe, we know that's a duplicate QSO, doesn't count. QR Mary's error, we know that. That's as good as lid. Pig farmer, I don't know what pig farmer is.
They're the contest haters.
Oh.
Contest hater.
They're the ones who hold 4-hour QSOs in the middle.
Yeah.
Contest for everything.
You know, you're calling a CQ test, and he comes back to you and goes very slowly. My name is, you'll call, you know, QRST 559 599 559 559. Name is blah blah blah. You thank you very much. Sound and punch we had nil. If I'm going to call somebody, particularly if I'm playing DX, and I call them and they don't come back, I have to say nil. All right, because I'm really not logging him. So if I say nil, that means I'm open for next.
Not in log.
Not in the log, yeah.
Beaming refers to the smile on your face.
That's what it is. Packet, we know. Sunday Drive, actually, they're called also Sunday Warrior. Yeah, I've got it there. That's the guys who actually joined the contest for a few hours or whatever. Just to either learn, have fun. Then again, you know, he's gung-ho going in and working mad, and then she says, "Darling, come home." So he's dinner's ready. He becomes a Sunday warrior.
At some stage, yeah.
He knows which side his pig farmer's button.
We all know that what's full gallon, yeah, or so-called California Claude.
Legal limit plus a bit.
Legal limit's 2.5 kilos.
And waterfall, actually you meant waterfall on that thing, yeah. Any more abbreviations we don't know and want to know? Okay. Chris is not here. He sold me for very good price some coax cable we badly needed. Jeff, thank you very much for that power supply. That worked like a charm. Beautiful. Yeah, Ed, who is actually from Hornsby, or Central Coast, he actually gave me a lot of good advice.
Hands up everyone who worked Patrick.
Boo!
Is that it?
Good on you guys, yeah?
We're pig farm.
Now you'd like to be the pig farmer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's all good fun, fellas. Good fun.
Well done.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
How do you authenticate to the world that you are actually on Lorde Howe Island? It goes for
Yeah,
any
good
expedition.
point. Good point. Trust. Trust.
Could be done in a movie studio, a bit like the
Moon landing.
Apollo 11.
Look, I mean,
Oh, so they didn't land on the moon after all.
No, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
it's trust, really.
Yeah, that's me, yeah. Well, I think I've read about frauds in the past.
Yeah, there've been rumors that people were on a ship, they got close to that entity and pretended they were transmitting from there. Because ship had hot and cold showers, the island didn't, of course.
They weren't smelling when they came back.
Any more questions? Okay, how many contestants do we have from now on? Well done.
Occasional.
Well, look,
Once a year we'll run into it.
that's it. That's how it starts. Look,
Charlie's a contestant.
yeah, I've seen you operating in one of the John malls or whatever we did. You were bloody sharp as a tack. So I can't yak that fast as you could, and it was excellent.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, that's a good thing. Isn't it?
his wife says.
That's before he started cutting back on all the Coke. Coca-Cola.
This thing works, oh yeah. It works.
I heard noise.
nobody wants to talk to us.